The G7 is the latest in the Panasonic G-series Micro Four Thirds cameras, and is in direct line of descent from the first ever Micro Four Thirds camera, the G1 from November 2008. It's come a long way since then, but the G-series remains the backbone of the company's range, and with good reason. While other Micro Four Thirds models have become bigger or smaller, the G-series is the one that remains largely true to the original Micro Four Thirds ideal of convenient size combined with capable performance. Interestingly, much as we regard video as part and parcel of Micro Four Thirds now, the G1 didn't do video at all. But back to the G7. The size and layout is such that it will fit any size hands and feel comfortable. It's similar in size to an Olympus EM1, but is lighter and feels less solid. It is noticeably smaller and lighter than the GX8. The control and menu layout is to Panasonic's usual high standard, and puts the main routinely changed parameters right to hand. I've come to expect that now, and it is a major attraction of the Panasonic range, making their cameras very enjoyable to use. The EVF is big, bright and clear, as is the monitor. Neither are state-of-the-art, but you need a side-by-side comparison to see it. Grip is very comfortable, and overall, for me, the 7 feels like it was made to measure. With a small lens like the 12 to 32mm Panasonic, the G7 will fit any shoulder bag, or even a coat pocket. The 14 to 140mm Panasonic suits it particularly well, and it's a combination that would be hard to beat for a travel outfit. The lens is stabilised and, in spite of its wide zoom range and its optical quality, light in weight, which gives you a compact camera lens combination as accomplished in video as it is in stills, just as able to photograph cityscapes as jet skiers, but that avoids lens changing in sensor unfriendly environments like a sandy beach or a windy, dusty city. An outfit with a ready-to-shoot weight of just 750 grams or 1.5 pounds, less than the weight of Nikon's 28 to 300mm alone. There's a built-in flash, 4 control dials, and Panasonic's Deft from defocus technology for sure-footed focusing, and even post-focus, focus bracketing really, for choosing your focus point after shooting. But, as with Olympus's EM5 Mark II, it is not used to implement the far more useful focus stacking to widen the depth of field. There are all of its more expensive stablemates 4K still shooting modes, including my favourite pre-burst. And for seeing everything you might want to do, a button for it. All in all, a very comprehensive specification at this price. Of course, the spec is one thing, but how it performs is another. I could sum it up in 3 words. Very well indeed. But that would be wasteful of my thoughts, of a man once described as having the photographic genius of Cartier-Bresson, the insight of Albert Einstein, and the voice of Jack Nicholson. Missing. Here it is anyway. I used to illustrate how fast single-shot autofocusing was, but it has now come down to milliseconds, and it's just too fast to sensibly illustrate. Suffice to say that the camera performs the same as the GX8 or GH4, and in general a little faster than Olympus's cameras. Low light focusing is superb. It will slow down in ultra-low light, but rarely isn't able to lock onto something. The tracking is up there with the best, and as it becomes more sure-footed, so it becomes more useful. Imagine if for a game of football you could set the camera just to track the ball. We're not there yet, but it would appear to be coming. The continuous autofocus is deft, and Micro Four Thirds cameras, with Olympus's phase detect and Panasonic's depth from defocus, really aren't that far behind the DSLRs these days. The biggest problem now is that when a Micro Four Thirds camera loses the continuous focus, it takes longer to re-establish than a DSLR with its dedicated and uninterrupted phase detection system. It's as if the Micro Four Thirds camera is thrown for a short period. The DSLR's advantage is slowly but surely being whittled away though. I often use the camera on single autofocus for moving subjects. So fast has it become that even if you are shooting subjects moving at an acute angle to the camera, provided you're not shooting sequences or something very fast moving, the single autofocus locks on and fires fast enough for a pin-sharp result. Shooting JPEGs, I found that with continuous focusing at the 6 frames per second M sequence setting, it would just rattle on and on. I got to around 12 seconds without slowdown, by which time my subject had vanished over the horizon. But it would have gone on longer. Not so many with RAW, of course, but still nearly 3 seconds worth at full speed. The sensor is the same one as in the GX7 and has good dynamic range. A stop or even two under or overexposure can be corrected at lower ISO settings without penalty in post-processing. Having said which, I've rarely found a situation where the multi-point metering would be even a stop out. The video performance for the available qualities is impeccable, no different to the GH4 using those settings. You don't have a headphone output or cinema 4K, but you do have 24 frames per second video to give your videos that filmic quality. Apparently. I asked Quentin Tarantino if it would make my videos look like his movies, but he thought the best way to improve my videos would be a 2 frames per minute frame rate. That way they'd only last a second. Talking of movies, one thing I really like is the Snap Movie menu setting. Set it on and just shoot away in stills with your normal settings. Press the red dotted video button, it'll shoot up to an 8-second movie clip and then go back to stills. Great for holiday pics where you can shoot that cascading waterfall and then seamlessly grab a quick movie clip of it. Panorama mode works well and can give some interesting perspectives too. All in all, focusing, exposure and image quality are what we've come to expect from late generation Micro Four Thirds cameras, and the lower price of the G7 in no way compromises them. The G7 has the same sensor and therefore noise and dynamic range as the GH4 after all. It seems to be too good to be true, and it is. There have to be compromises, and in this case the most noticeable is the construction, because the camera body is plastic and feels it. That doesn't imply that it is less robust than metal. In fact, it is probably just as strong and less prone to cracking or denting if dropped. But many people find the feel less satisfying. I do myself. There are things missing, like NFC near-field Wi-Fi connection to your phone, tab or desktop, a headphone socket, and cinema quality 4K video. None of these things strike me as crucial. It doesn't have a weatherproof body, the GX8's 20 megapixel sensor, or the GH4's sophisticated near-professional video flexibility. Whereas the GX8 strikes me as slanted towards stills, and the GH4 to video, the G7 will serve either equally well. It's an all-rounder from depth from defocus focusing to its 4K video. There's nothing unnecessary on it, but nothing necessary has been left out. Summing up, a friend and his wife asked me what camera they should buy to get better results on their mobile phone and learn more about photography. I suggested a G7 with a 14-140mm Panasonic lens. Not because it is the best camera, is there such a thing, but because at a halfway decent price it would enable them to learn and improve their pictures for years to come, while being as easy and convenient to use as any such complex piece of technology could be. This is the Fender Telecaster of the Micro Four Thirds world. The Tele is the guitar of choice for the straight-ahead rock or country music player. Merle Haggard and Bruce Springsteen play one. The Tele isn't fancy or showy, it's a tool to meet the artist's needs. That's the G7 too. Thanks for watching.